Welcome, everyone, to NBA action here on 2K Sports. The weekend of hoops continues. It'll be LeBron James and the Miami Heat facing off against the Charlotte Bobcats. And now we head out to Charlotte with Kevin Harlan and the 2K crew for today's broadcast.
It's yours. Whose world is this?
The world is yours. The world is yours.
It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Whose world is this?
It's yours.
It's mine, it's mine, it's mine. Whose world is this?
It's yours. It's yours. It's yours.
On the road, looking for a win against an Eastern Conference rival, the Miami Heat are ready to get this thing started. Hi, everyone. I'm Kevin Harlan with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Happy to have you along for this edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. So here's Miami's starting group. Mario Chalmers and the electric D-Wade at the guards. Shane Battier is out there with LeBron James, and it's Bosh in at the 5. And for the Bobcats, Biombo and Hayward are wide length up front. On the perimeter, it's Henderson and Kid Gilchrist, and it's Sessions in at the 1 spot.
Well, you know, Kevin, you could say an awful lot about the Bobcats, and just about all of it based on last year would be bad or
Tough,
negative.
yeah, I know.
It was just dreadful whenever they played, and that includes here at home.
And so the tip-off, it's Miami. Bosh kicks to Battier. Elbow shot is on the way. Kept alive. Wade. Nice concentration to hit the double clutch layup.
That's outstanding hang-time improvisation right there.
Feeds to Kid Gilchrist. And it's out of bounds for the Bobcats as Charlotte retains possession. Well, you never want to pile on, but it really was just embarrassing for the Bobcats last year. Here at home, Steve, 4-29.
Yeah, it was a disaster. I mean, that's what it comes down to. But Charlotte was just trying to reload. They went through a lousy season. Now they've got Michael Kidd-Gilchrist as a cornerstone. But it's going to probably take a few more seasons to build that talent base, guys.
Clock is at 3. It's stolen by Wade. And, oh, here we go. Chalmers has got it. The fast break chance. He flies to the bucket and lays it in. Heat on D. 4-point game. And Mario Chalmers gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game.
And guys, you know the story. Eric Spoelstra, coach of the Heat, a guy who worked his way from the ground up with this organization. I mean, from video coordinator to advanced scout, assistant coach, then director of scouting, over 13 years. Finally becomes the head coach and has shown himself to be very much a good fit for that position.
LeBron can't get it to go.
Looked like an easy 2 points right there.
You know he's kicking himself for that miss.
Kid Gilchrist dishes to Sessions. Stolen by Bosh. Oh, and a fast break for the Heat. Chalmers passes to LeBron. It's rebounded by Kid Gilchrist.
And, you know, going back to Eric Spoelstra, what a job he's done over the last couple of years with all of that pressure after the acquisition of LeBron James. So much scrutiny and criticism, but he handled it beautifully. He got his team playing its best when they needed to be playing their best, and they were able to capture that championship a year ago. What a run. Great move to get to the bucket and lay that one in. He's got the softest touch around the basket. Impressive.
That's good.
I'll tell you what, he's made more than a few of those in his career.
He'd have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. And again, LeBron missing.
Well, you know what? You really expect him to knock that jumper down when he gets a good look like that.
Well, about the only knock on LeBron is just that he can't get it done in the fourth quarter of big games. We saw that in the 2011 finals against Dallas. But, you know, that criticism starts to fade away once you're wearing a championship ring.
Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Eric Spoelstra. And what'd you find out, Doris?
We talked about the impact players on these two teams, the ones who can take over a game single-handedly. And he told me that Michael Kidd-Gilchrist may already be in that category. He said he's a guy we've got to account for. He's just so relentless. If you're not ready to match his intensity level, he'll make you look bad. And Kevin, he said if they can limit his impact on the game, that will certainly help.
Thank you, Doris. And for LeBron last season, finally able to break through in his third finals appearance to win an NBA title, it had to be sweet.
Yeah, sometimes you have to fail before you can succeed. And at long last, a little vindication for LeBron. And I don't think he's done. I mean, before he's done, he wants to win not one, and not two, but perhaps he'd like to grab 3 of those titles. And you get the idea. They might have a chance if they can keep that team together and add some pieces.
Well, when you talk about players, Kevin, who can break down defenses off the dribble and create their own offense, to me, Dwayne Wade is at the top of that list.
Yeah, you know what? He's a crevice encroacher. In other words, he can get to places you don't think he can get to. This guy gets through cracks and crevices and finishes at the rim with a high degree of success and difficulty as well. He's special in that regard.
Catching up on the changes for Charlotte. Byron Mullins is checked in for Haywood. Thomas comes in for Biyombo. Ben Gordon's checked in for Gerald Henderson. And it's Kemba Walker in for Sessions. Rashard Lewis, he's checked in for LeBron. Now here's Walker. Excellent D there from Allen.
That's not an opportunity he fails to convert very often.
You know, the Miami Heat are relatively young as a team in terms of NBA history. Joined the league in 1988, but really hit the ground running and have been a force in the East since they became part of the league.
And now the first timeout called here for the Bobcats. Well, you look at the Heat, you take away the first 3 years of the franchise as they were building from scratch since 1991. They have only missed the playoffs 5 times. Steve, I think that's an amazing stat.
Yeah, the franchise quickly came in and established itself way back as one of the tougher opponents to deal with in the East. They've done a nice job of establishing themselves as a model organization in the NBA over the years.
The Bobcats making a change here. Henderson's checked in. The Heat also changing it up. Chris Bosh is checked in for Haslam. Joel Anthony comes in for Rashard Lewis. And it's LeBron in for Ray Allen. Knocked loose. And they're running. Moving it up. Here's...
Unbelievable.
How did he do that?
Rattle that rim, young man. Rattle that rim.
He did it all right. The rim, the backboard, the stanchion, all of it.
Hope he's okay.
And the highlight reel replay. Brought to you by Sprite. Good stuff. And once again, off the mark by Charlotte. The Heat leading by 12.
You know, I think Kemba Walker's excellent balance and nimble feet set him apart. I mean, and some attribute that to his background in dance. I mean, he studied it extensively from a young age, even performed at the Apollo Theater as a kid on a number of occasions.
Did you study dance, Clark?
No, I did not.
And it's out of bounds. The Heat able to retain possession here. Charlotte making some changes. Brendan Haywood, he's checked in for Byron Mullins. Biyombo comes in for Tyrus Thomas. And Sessions subbed in for Kemba Walker. Now here's LeBron, still looking to get on the scoreboard. And it's Biyombo with the rebound. And for Walker, do you think, Steve, that background in performing from a young age is also a factor in Kemba's confidence on the big stage?
I guess, Kevin, because from the first moment that I saw Kemba Walker play, He had enormous presence for a little guy. You could see the confidence and the belief in his game. It's one of the reasons he was able to lead UConn to that national championship.
And the first one drops.
Well, there were so many areas where the Heat dominated their competition last year, so it was no surprise that they were able to control their division opponents in the Southeast. But, you know, it's not an easy division with teams like Orlando and Atlanta, but still Miami was able to really control the action there.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. And a 9-5 record for the Heat within the division. And when you have to play the teams they do in a division that good, that says something.
Yeah, it really does, and it's really an expectation for them to win the division every year, but that's not as easy as people want to make it sound. I mean, although they do keep living up to it and making it look easy, it's a lot of hard work to get that done.
And all 10 of their last points have come inside the paint, so defensively you've got to make an adjustment.
Yeah, and you got to do a little more to stop it, too. I mean, it's coming way too easy for them. At some points, you just got to buck up and say it's not going to happen.
If he gets a glimpse of an opening, he's going to take it right to the rim.
Now Wade, 10 points for him. Gets it to go. Bosch has got himself on the board with 3 there.
A lot of points for them here early in the first quarter. I mean, this could get ugly.
Yeah, they sure could. They're on quite a pace right now, and judging by their lead, this game could get out of hand in a hurry.
Now here's Wade. With 1 on the clock, and LeBron with the basket, the assist by Wade.
Boy, what a fantastic opening quarter for them.
Yeah, it sure has been. Look at the lead they've jumped out to already. Impressive.
And as the first quarter wraps up, already a double-digit lead. Heat out front, up by 15. And back in a moment as we'll get underway with quarter number 2. Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. And, guys, we've seen a confident-looking Heat team out there.
I was impressed with their transition game, guys. They really got out and ran the lanes.
Yeah, they did. I mean, no better way to get easy buckets than through fast breaks.
Bobcats trail by 15. And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor. All fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. On the court right now for the Bobcats, Kemba Walker is out there with Ben Gordon. Then it's Henderson. Then there's Tyrus Thomas. And it's Mullins in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Guys, LeBron James, all-defense first team for the last 4 seasons. He wasn't always known as a great defender, but it's something he really worked at, and he went so far as to say, I love defense much more than I do offense. I take pride in that side of the floor. And Kevin, with his incredible athleticism, he can really guard at least 4 positions out there.
Yeah, he can do it all. Thanks, Doris.
Well, what makes LeBron so great is that he's dominant at both ends of the floor. Defensively, he can guard any position. I think his defense gets overlooked at times, but he is really dominant at that end of the floor.
Thomas, no good.
They continue to pull down misses, and that's how they're maintaining this lead.
Yeah, well, one and done is the recipe for continuing to hold on to a lead. You don't want to let the other team back in it by giving them extra possession.
And he's most dangerous as a long-range shooter, someone who can do serious damage behind that three-point line. And we all know how important the three-point shot has become with every team because you've got to be able to space the floor and run your offense.
And another one of his really special talents is coming up with steals at the moment a ball handler picks up his dribble and is getting into a shooting motion. He's got excellent timing in that regard.
Charlotte calls timeout. The Bobcats with the new group in. Brendan Haywood, he's checked in for Byron Mullins. Biombo comes in for Tyrus Thomas. Kid Gilchrist, he's checked in for Gerald Henderson. And Sessions subbed in for Ben Gordon. And a new group in for the Heat. Chris Bosh is checked in for Haslem. Wade comes in for Shane Battier. Norris Cole, he's checked in for Rashard Lewis. And it's LeBron in for Mario Chalmers. Here's LeBron.
Exclamation point right there, guys. That was a strong throwdown finish.
It was, and a little extra face time as he eases off the iron.
Well, it's about self-preservation, guys. Sometimes that's the safest route. Make sure you don't have any bodies or feet or ankles below you, and then calmly let yourself down to the floor.
And there's the call on James. That's his first foul. Ben Gordon's checked in for Kemba Walker. Miami on defense. Sessions sets the pick for Gordon. Kicks to Biombo. Dunks it down.
You know, the dunk was great, but I didn't care for that interior defense there, guys. It was non-existent.
You're right, Clark. You know, it was way too easy. I don't think the coach liked it either. Look at it. Look at that face. Uh-oh.
It doesn't get much easier than that. They have got to tighten up their defense. That was embarrassing. Well, the Bobcats trying to model themselves after the Oklahoma City Thunder and the way the Thunder rebuilt their franchise after the move from Seattle.
And there's the call on Bosh. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Second team foul.
Here's Sessions. And stolen by LeBron.
Great reflexes to get a hand on that pass and go the other way with it.
And he zips to the basket and lays it in.
Michael Kidd Gilchrist.
LeBron's now got 6.
And another quick strike for them. No question which team is running the fast break better here today.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been lethal in transition, Steve. It's one of the reasons they're out in front.
Going back to the Charlotte Bobcats with the high pick they had in the draft, that's a big step if they're going to try to follow the Thunder's model, because the Thunder, as you know, Clark, they've had incredible success with top 5 picks. Durant, Westbrook, Harden. I mean, they've hit on all of them. They've been incredibly successful. The Bobcats hopefully will follow from their point of view in that same way.
Home runs across the board, Kevin. You're right. It'll take some time for Charlotte to get to that level, but hopefully they will be able to. You know, the dunks are few and far between for the big guy, but every once in a while we get one just like that.
It's not hard to believe that kind of size might keep you from being a high flyer.
Yeah, that's a lot of man right there to try to get up off the ground, Kevin.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game.
And the Bobcats really decided to focus more on the analytical side of advanced scouting. And we'll see if that has an effect on Charlotte's success here the next couple of seasons.
Joel Anthony's checked in for Miami. Miller comes in for Norris Cole. The Heat leading by 19. Steve, you look at the front office of the Bobcats. Clark, you know, that analytical scouting is something now off the Moneyball baseball idea is kind of catching some steam, it seems like, in the NBA. And down the road for teams like Charlotte, you know, I think could pay off for it.
Well, it's got a chance, but you've got to combine the sabermetrics with some real good, astute evaluation of players and establishing a culture for how you want to play, and then plugging players into that culture, character plus ability. So the Bobcats are going to have to look at it from all angles in a 360-degree format to get this thing turned around.
Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Gentlemen, the Heat last season decided to revamp their offensive strategy, playing a more free-flowing style to try to take better advantage of their quickness and playmaking ability. Chris Bosh said, "We're not just going to go out there and play pickup, but we are going to get into our spacing, make the right cuts, read each other, and just go out there and play." LeBron James said, "It suits our personnel. It's been good for us to just read and react. No matter if it's a make or a miss, we want to get the ball up the floor as fast as possible." Kevin?
Well, Doris, when you've got that kind of talent and IQ, playing on instinct can certainly be effective.
They continue to barrel their way inside, and when's the defense going to adjust?
Well, I'm asking the same question myself, partner. I mean, that's 8 points out of their last 10 coming inside.
Shot's good by Walker.
Points in the paint have been the main course, or main entree, if you will. They just keep pounding it inside.
Well, they're seeing no resistance defensively in the paint area, so the defense has got to be tougher.
I like the job they're doing. A much better job of getting him involved in the offense here in the second quarter.
Sessions with it, and it's Miller picking him up. Now the pass to Henderson. Fades back. Miami grabs the miss. 32 seconds left in the first half. Here's LeBron.
How about that, basketball fan? Beautiful. Wow. Well, I tell you what, he is never going to pass up the opportunity to throw one down.
Well, you're right about that one, Clark. He is always looking for an excuse to do it.
And he'll go up with it even when the defense has the rim blanketed.
And the replay, of course, presented by Sprite. What a play. And here we go with Anthony running it up the court. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. The Heat shooting their 4th and 5th attempts at the free throw line tonight.
And you know, a lot of times, guys, in some of their performances last year, their free throw numbers helped them win games.
He hits the second from the line. Now here's Gordon. That one goes. Count it.
You know, the defense has to prevent the ball from getting down into that area if they're going to be successful, guys.
Stolen by Walker. Here's Haywood, and he beat the buzzer, but it's no good. A dominating first half of basketball, and so far hasn't been close. It's the Heat running away with it. The Sprint Halftime Show with Damon Bruce is coming up next. Then it'll be on to the third quarter. We'll see you then.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
And now get ready for the halftime report. We're happy to be part of your Sunday. Miami up on top against the Bobcats at Time Warner Cable Arena. At every opportunity, they're pushing it on the break and looking to run it down the opponent's throat. Dwayne Wade putting on a clinic against Charlotte. He has 11 points and has looked very good defensively, playing hard-nosed ball out there. And the Bobcats have been plugging away. They've done a great job closing out their defensive possessions, grabbing boards, great rebounding. Ramon Sessions has stood out in the early going. He's got 4 points, and he's had some good court vision, helping out in the assist department as well. That'll be it for the halftime report. The second half is coming right up. Hope to see you next time.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen.
Nice numbers from D. Wade. He has 11 points, and the steals are starting to pile up for him also.
They sure have, and clearly he's gotten in their heads because of it, Clark. You guys are looking over their shoulder now, always worrying about where he is. Well, there's probably 2 areas of concern if you're a Miami fan. One is the depth of the front court, and the other is the point guard situation. Although last year I thought Mario Chalmers had an excellent season, and Norris Cole was a surprise, the rookie out of Cleveland State.
Here's who Eric Spoelstra is starting the second half with. At the 2 and 3, the superstar duo of D. Wade and LeBron James. Shane Battier is out there with Chris Bosh, and it's Chalmers in at the point. Now here's Henderson. The dish now to Kid Gilchrist. He kicks it to Sessions. Shoots the 3. And Kid Gilchrist kicks to Henderson. Can't hit, and it's Miami the other way. Swiped away. And the foul on Dwayne Wade. That's his first foul. Well, back to Miami. If they can see their young players, and Steve was just mentioning this, grow into that point guard role as they did last year, then really, Clark, you know, front court depth will be their only concern going from this point on.
And that's a pretty short list of concerns to have if you're a team. I mean, the Heat will always have to worry about depth to some degree given how they're built around the big three, but it looks like they won't have too many point guard issues going forward.
And stolen by Chalmers. Dunked hard with one hand.
You let him get to the rim, and that's exactly what's going to happen. You deserve that.
He's more than capable, you're right, Clark, of providing some great highlight reel material.
Yes, sir.
And for a point guard to finish like that, I mean, that is just special. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, member of that national championship winning Kentucky Wildcat squad. You know, a lot of people said he was the leader of that team, even as a freshman. And I think that's going to be the case for him in the pros. He's one of those guys who just has that natural leadership instinct. He's tough, he plays strong, plays hard every single night.
That free throw missing. And Steve, you touched on Kidd-Gilchrist's leadership qualities. He helped kick off a breakfast club at Kentucky for players that came in early to lift weights and work on their games.
Yep, perhaps inspired in part by those championship Bulls teams of the 90s. That was their tradition. And Kidd-Gilchrist, a guy who I think will continue to find success at the NBA level, in part because he's a guy who understands the value of work and leadership.
And it's out of bounds. The Bobcats will take it the other way. Ray Allen, he's checked in for Miami. Bobcats trail by 19. Henderson dishes to Sessions. Charlotte calls timeout.
You know, the Heat knew it was all about the playoffs for them last year, Kevin, and ultimately they would be judged on if they were able to win a title or not. That's maybe harsh, but that truly is the reality for that group.
It is there, you're right. Yeah, Clark, they cruised early, and once Derrick Rose got hurt and the Bulls were knocked out, they were the heavy favorites to reach the finals. But it was a struggle at times. You know, Indiana gave them a real good second round.
Yeah, and then Boston took them to 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals, even had them down 3-2. But in the end, it was finally LeBron's turn, and he was amazing during the championship round against Oklahoma City. And it was very impressive the way he responded to his critics and played about as well as you can possibly play in an NBA Finals. Congratulations to Miami and to LeBron.
With some changes, Udonis Haslem, who's checked in for Batty. Wade comes in for Ray Allen. And it's Norris Cole in for Mario Chalmers. Here's Henderson. Knocks it loose. And it's out of bounds. The Heat will take it the other way. Here's Wade. 11 points in the game. And not a good shot for him. They can get better looks than that. Right around a minute and a half played here in the third quarter. And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
The Heat leading by 19. The quick shot. And LeBron with the basket, the assist by Wade. Wade's got his 9th assist in the game now.
He got that one, but he hasn't been producing the way we're accustomed to. He needs to look for a shot a bit more.
Takes it up. Haywood gets the bucket. Haywood's got his second bucket.
Again, they attack the hoop from the lane, and it's been really good to them.
Yeah, they're getting whatever they want down there. That's 4 of their last 5 buckets coming in the paint area. That's 3 for 4 field goal shooting here in the third, so offensively, they're looking good. And LeBron last year, I thought, had the best season of his career. Shot 53%, by far a career high. And I think it started with him really making a commitment to go inside and to avoid those bailout three-point shots.
Here's Biyombo. Rebound by the Heat. Wade's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Shoots over Henderson, and LeBron with the basket, the assist by Wade. 14 points for LeBron.
Boy, he's been so cool out there, composed, never rattled. I mean, a very steady contributor to the offense.
Stolen by Bosch. Oh, and a fast break for the Heat. Puts the lead pass in front of him.
Yeah, very opportunistic defense there, leading to those points.
That's exactly what they'll do to you, Steve. They will pounce on your mistakes.
They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
You're good, Kev. I mean, too many empty trips. They need some points.
And the Bobcats with a new group in. Byron Mullins is checked in for Haywood. Thomas comes in for Biombo. Ben Gordon's checked in for Kid Gilchrist. And it's Kemba Walker in for Sessions. And then for Miami, Rashard Lewis. He's checked in for Bosch. Adier comes in for Udonis Haslem. And it's Chalmers in for Norris Cole. Wade, good.
Well, another fast break bucket. I mean, that's their not-so-secret weapon.
And defensively, it's been a consistent thing here. They're a step slow every possession in transition. They've got to get back.
Here's Henderson. After the made shot from Dwayne Wade. Here's Mullins on the money from 12 feet away. Mullins got 6. In the third quarter with just over 3.5 minutes off the clock.
Well, when you're in the beginning of a rebuilding phase and you share a division with Miami, Atlanta, and Orlando, things can get ugly in a hurry. And that was exactly what happened to the Bobcats in the Southeast Division last year.
Kid Gilchrist, he's checked in for the Bobcats. And Miami also making a switch. Ray Allen is checked in for Dwayne Wade. Here's Gordon. Pulls up on the wing. Can't get it to go.
Most of the time, that shot will go down. Boy, the defenders have to make sure they tag it.
That's good from Allen on the assist by Chalmers. That Southeast Division, Clark just knocked them all over the place last season. The Bobcats just didn't have, the kind of talent to battle those teams and certainly the rest of the league.
Look, Evan, 1-14 overall in the division. Enough said. That one win came against Orlando, and the Magic can't feel good about being the one team in the division that Charlotte was able to beat.
There's 42 seconds left to play in the third. Bobcats shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
Well, they were 75% free throw shooting a season ago.
First free throw is good.
Kemba Walker really is a great penetrator and a volume scorer. Not a great outside shooter yet, streaky. But I think when you look at him and his ability to penetrate and finish, it's very impressive at that size how productive he is.
Looking at who's out there now for the Bobcats. Biombo, he's checked in for Byron Mullins. Henderson comes in for Kid Gilchrist. And Sessions subbed in for Ben Gordon.
Boy, they couldn't hook up there on what's really a pretty basic pass.
The Bobcats making a switch here. Haywood's checked in.
And guys, you go back to Kemba Walker, and I think you're right, Steve. He's a natural ball handler and penetrator. But if he develops his outside shot, because he's got outstanding balance and footwork, and I think that'll make him a lot tougher to defend. And he's not a big guy, so being able to knock down the perimeter shot with his balance and footwork is going to make him that much more dangerous.
Rebound by Mario Chalmers. Chalmers has got 3 rebounds so far in the game. And at the end of the third quarter, a huge lead in this one may already have been decided. Heat out front, running away with this one. And do not go away, as we'll be back in just a few moments with the start of our fourth quarter coming up next. As the fourth quarter gets going, let's swing it over to Doris Burke to find out who's had the Sprite uncontainable game. Doris?
Hey guys, well it was the stretch by the Heat that garners the uncontainable game today. They have a firm grip on this game and have been the team calling all the shots through the first 3 quarters. Only question is, how big can the lead grow to?
Great, thanks Doris. And a very important turning point in this game was when they started to gather that steam and really started rolling, guys.
Yeah, no question, Kevin. And that run changed the entire feel of this game. And it wasn't just their offense that made it happen. The stops they were making defensively played just as big a role.
And right at the start of that run, fellas, you could see the sudden injection of energy that went through the whole team. Then it was game on.
Biombo and Mullins up front. Ben Gordon out there with Ramon Sessions. And it's Thomas in at the 3 spot. So that's the group out there for Charlotte. So both teams changing it up here. Outside, Walker. Rebounded by Anthony.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
The Bobcats shooting 41% for the game. Right side, Williams. He dishes it to Mullins. Walker with it, and it's Miller picking him up. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Mullins. That's good.
Well done, finishing that one off.
1 minute now into this fourth quarter. Near the three-point line, it's Lewis. Here's Anthony. Good on the shot.
You know, you look at how this has played out so far, and they've really had a big advantage inside.
Now they're getting higher percentage shots in the lane, and they're getting a bounce here or there, but I think they're playing pretty well down there.
Now here's Walker. Out of bounds, Bobcats ball as Charlotte keeps possession.
Yeah, so close to picking that pass off, guys.
At least he got a hand on it. He did what he needed to do to make sure it didn't hit the target.
Tyrus Thomas is checked in for Byron Mullins. Shane Battier is checked in for Miami. Allen comes in for Mike Miller. And Shane Battier gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game.
Well, it was talked about quite a bit last season, and it could be coming up soon, where the NBA has considered putting advertisements on jerseys, kind of like European soccer teams or golfers. Jersey sponsors, if you will, really will bring in a fortune in advertising them.
If you don't box him out more effectively than that, he's going to eat you up on the offensive board.
Straight up and in on the layup. Last quarter of play, about 2 minutes in now. A lot of leagues around the world do it, Steve, as you were talking about with soccer and racing. You could imagine that there would be a long line of companies vying for a spot on jerseys.
Well, it's going to be a tough decision in the end, because I know the NBA feels like there's a purity involved when you don't sell out to a corporate logo. But my guess is that there will be a small logo on a jersey before too long, and as long as it doesn't become plastered all over the place, I think the fans will get accustomed to it right away.
And the Bobcats have changed their look on the floor. The Heat also changing it up. Chris Bosh is checked in for Haslam. Wade comes in for Rashard Lewis. And it's Chalmers in for Norris Cole. And the Bobcats call time here.
Well, just too many easy buckets, in and around the paint. So he wants to put a stop to it. This timeout is going to be used to try to tighten up the defense.
Guys at this level, they won't miss often if you keep giving up looks inside, and they're paying for that right now. Good timeout here.
Cause I'm no comedian, jokers are wild, if you won't be tame, I treat you like a child and you're gonna be named another enemy, not even a friend of me, cause you're fried in the end when you pretend to be competing, cause I just put your mind on pause and I'm completing, you compare my mind with yours, I wake you up and as I stand in your face, you seem stunned, remember me, the one that got your idea from her, soon you start to suffer, tune get rougher, then you start to stutter, that's when you had enough, fighting it'll make you choke, you can't provoke, you can't cope, you should have broke, because I ain't no joke.
And a new group in for the Heat. Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for Bosh. Lewis comes in for Shane Battier. Mike Miller's checked in for Dwayne Wade. And it's Norris Cole in for Mario Chalmers. Here's Henderson, and Charlotte again with the bucket. Fourth quarter of play, and we're about 2.5 minutes through it right now. Near the three-point line, it's Lewis. No good. So the Bobcats will take it the other way.
Strange trend here, guys. They're totally controlling the glass, but they still trail.
You get the feeling that one is going to correct. Either they'll lose their edge on the glass or catch up in points sooner or later. We'll see.
He just hasn't been able to build any momentum in this game. He's got to find something out there.
Here's Miller. It's Biyombo with the rebound. Biyombo's got 6 rebounds here tonight. To the inside, Henderson. The shot's good. Sessions making the play. Henderson's got 4 points in the quarter.
Well, that makes 5 of their last 6 makes coming from inside.
Yeah, really focused on getting the ball into the paint because they're taking advantage of very porous defense down there. And this one's pretty much wrapped up.
And they know it. I mean, took care of business. Chalk it up as a W, Steve.
Charlotte calls timeout.
How about the career of Ray Allen, a 10-time All-Star, an NBA champion, so respected for his work ethic. He's a guy who really has made the most of his abilities. I think he's a first-ballot Hall of Famer.
Kemba Walker is checked in for the Bobcats. Kemba Walker! 1:51 left in the game. Henderson, no good. And with Ray Allen such a long, productive career, you think of his years in Milwaukee and Seattle, and of course, winning that title, Clark, with the Celtics back in 2008.
And on every one of those teams, Kevin, he's been a key player, a major contributor, someone they could rely on for big shots and always being prepared and ready to go.
Misses with the tough, leaning jump shot. The Bobcats have gone 5 of 10, 50% from the field. Biombo, a huge slam, the perfect end of the fast break.
The one-handed flush, very nice.
Yeah, nice, strong finish there.
Just punched it home.
And it's out of bounds to the Heat as Miami retains possession. The Bobcats making a switch here. Thomas is checked in. 1:15 left to play here in the fourth. That is good. The Bobcats have gone 6 of 11 since the start of the fourth quarter. Here's Walker. And it's blocked. And they'll keep possession. And then Thomas with the jam. Byron Mullins is checked in for Brendan Hayward. Thomas. Free throw no good for Thomas.
And, you know, Ty Thomas out of LSU, guys, is the former number 4 pick in the draft, and he's extremely long and athletic, has a lot of natural ability, but is still trying to figure out how to leverage that in terms of being a more productive and consistent basketball player.
Walker's shot is off.
Not a bad look at the hoop, just couldn't get it to bounce in for him.
Here's Cole. Bobcats with the rebound. There's 38 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Goes up the baseline. He feeds it to Kid Gilchrist. Mullins poked away. Stolen by Lewis. And here comes the break. Here's Allen. The jumper from the free throw line is good.
Well, the outcome is not in question now. They've got it all wrapped up.
Agreed. I mean, they're just looking to simply run the clock out now.
Passes to Kid Gilchrist. Miller grabs the miss.
Once he had to change the shot because of the hand in his face, you knew he wasn't going to make it.
Allen for 3. No good. The full court prayer. No good. And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. They put on a show tonight, thoroughly controlling each end of the floor.
Hey, what more can you ask?
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Dwayne Wade.